Martina. Sandra.
I think.
Hi, Sandra. You know, also what many of us start to recognize is as our thinking process slows down or gets quieter, we get quieter, we actually become much more empathetic. We feel more what's happening everywhere on the planet, with the people that love us, the environment that we're in. So we've all experienced, like, there's different energies. If you go to the grocery store, it's a different energy than if you go to a football match, or it's a different energy than if you go walk in nature somewhere. So, or like if you at the airport and there's everybody coming and going, it's very different energy fields, yeah? And of course we feel it. And the tendency is to think, oh, that means something about me. It's not just, okay, I'm just feeling what's around, So at the moment on the planet, I mean, there's a lot of, how to say, freaked outness around. People are scared and worried and all that kind of stuff. And so, yeah, of course, and then, if we watch TV or news or stuff, it all is aimed to get us to feel some, be afraid, actually, a lot of it. So it's just, I heard a lovely saying, for the sky, it doesn't matter what the weather is, it doesn't matter if it's rainy or sunshine, it's just the weather, yeah? And so same with our experience, it's just the weather. No, nothing to be over involved with. It'll change, it'll better. I'm saying that also in relationship to Martina's question, but I see that your system is quietening down and you're getting more and more, I would say, empathetic. You feel more.
Yeah, I can notice it. And I notice that something in me don't want to be seen. It's like hiding. I don't know.
Yeah, beautiful noticing. It's a funny thing, because actually if we're seen, where the quality of attention is gentle and it's really present with us and it feels us, then it's like food. But if somebody sees us and they see us through the lens of their preconceived notions, then it's actually painful, because they don't see us at all. They only see the image of us, and it gets projected onto us. And usually when that's going on, it's like how our thinking works is everybody's okay, but you know, he's okay, but she's okay, but it's always, you know, that's the nature of seeing through our preconceptions, I could say it like that. So it's to be seen by conventional habits, through conventional habits, is uncomfortable because we're not seen at all. We just project it on. Yeah. But when we rest like this, then it's easy, it's sweet, and there's no you, there's no me, there's just a, yeah. And you know, in most people, they develop like kind of a social personality to deal with that projecting. So they put on a mask or a, you know, like an act. And then the act gets the attention and not them. But to sit there vulnerably and naked, and the attention is a projection, yeah, it's uncomfortable. Mm.
Thank you, Isaac.
Yeah, thank you. Ah, Lily.
Hi.
Hi.
There've been wonderful things happening along the way. Really, I have huge gratitude. And last night was kind of like a freeing of this system out of some. It was shown as it's freeing out of a spiral of something. And then, yeah, and that freedom of absolute openness of started to be observed, I suppose, or felt, yeah. And there's some young organization in the system, or maybe a pattern, started to be slightly fearful, because it was kind of like, it was beautiful and full. And I just want to bring peace to that too. Yeah. embrace.
Just following on what I was speaking about.
Yeah.
So the way somebody perceives us, what does that have to do with us?
Yes.
If somebody looks at you and they have some idea of you, you're not a nice person, or you drama mama, or who knows what projection happens. It's like, what does any of that have to do with us?
I have seen that pattern that projects or imprints that projection onto a belief, or a belief comes in that is the truth. I've seen that.
Yeah, so but it's just we're taking a moment is just to see that how anybody sees us actually has nothing to do with us. At best, it has to do with maybe a pattern that's playing in us, but often it's to do with a pattern playing in who's ever seeing. So that, otherwise from the perspective of when we were growing up and we were trying to figure out what we had to do or be to get our parents' love, or parents not get whacked. That's a big growing up. There's okay, wow, I can just be, don't have to be any special way, not running after anybody's approval or anybody's, I don't need anyone to like me or love me or anything. And I can just be.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's
it's a big relief. Yeah.
Wow. There's emotion coming up now, but this system kind of has the knowledge that I don't need anybody to love this creation in this plane. But the like and the love, when it comes to depth, that's touching now something quite deep. Yeah.
Yeah. So whatever is touching, you don't have to figure out.
No.
There's just a touch.
And I'm aware that it was a big one. It was subconscious for a long time.
Yeah. And so whatever, you're really talking like when you say it was a big one, then you're talking about the past.
Yes.
Yeah. And so what the past is gone, we can do nothing about it.
Yeah. Okay.
So just this moment now, coming back to here.
Yeah.
Just here now.
Yeah.
Nothing to solve, nothing to understand.
It still is a big one.
So then let's take a moment. When you say it's a big one, what do you mean by that? Strong sensations?
Yeah.
Okay, so now those sensations are there.
Yeah.
What do they mean? What do they mean about you?
Okay. Yeah, I mean nothing about me.
They mean nothing, and then just see. So, in the seeing that they mean nothing, can they just simply wash through, or do you need to see? The moment you say it's a big one, suddenly you're back in the modality of working on yourself or something. It's like it's an old pathway. It's just like, okay, so
yeah. This is such a huge freeing. It really is.
Mm.
Oh. Oh.
So if I ask you now, what happened to the big one?
Yeah.
You can only laugh, yeah?
Yeah, it's just so
It
amazing.
seemed big, but then you look at it and it's nothing, actually.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Thanks. I mean, I'd love to stay with you. As others. Mm.
Mahima.
Hello, Isaac.
Hi, Mahima.
There's this realization that's only happened to me over the last couple days, in actually conversation with my daughter, and I'm seeing it even in the sharing tonight, like with more, I'll say, clarity, that I'm looking for some kind of warmth or response from her. And like if
just 1 second. Is it you that's doing that, or is it an unconscious pattern that's doing that?
it's some pattern in me that wants like that
yeah,
from her. I see that now.
I'm just making the distinction for you to look at and see, is it you that's doing that, or is it an automatic unconscious pattern? In which case it's not you, it's just an automatic old information playing out. Just to make that distinction.
It doesn't happen with everybody, but I notice it happens with her. So
you're not answering the question.
Okay.
Is it you that's doing that?
Well,
if it was up to you, would it be happening?
Yeah. No.
No. Okay. So somehow it's happening and it's being noticed. All we're questioning now is who's doing it.
Yeah, there's some pattern. Yeah.
There's a pattern playing. Okay. So what's the importance of recognizing that's not you that's doing it? If it's important at all, why is that useful?
I'm not sure, but as I'm feeling, there's feelings coming up as we're just sitting here. There's tears that come up, and I feel energy in the heart area.
Yeah, if it's like so if we think it's me that's doing it, then there's suddenly a me in the picture. And that me then has the impression that it can stop doing it, or that it needs to do something to stop it.
Oh yeah, I thought, okay, I'm not going to talk on that subject with her anymore, because I get off the phone and
No, stop for a second. If there's a sense that I'm doing it, that is the sense of I. That's identification.
Yeah.
And then from the perspective of identification, it feels like there's an I that can stop it or do something about it, which keeps that sense of I alive and well. So it doesn't look like much, but it's just like, it's an important one to see. Actually, it's happening by itself, automatically, unconsciously, which literally means nobody's doing it. It's an automatic, unconscious pattern. Who knows where it comes from? Who knows? All we know is that it plays in certain circumstances and certain like that. And in that moment, it's uncomfortable, and there's a sense of suffering. There's a sense of me. There's a sense of there's something wrong.
Well, you mentioned
And
something.
then, yeah.
You mentioned something just a little earlier with someone that, like in being seen, and then with some people, you feel like, I forget how you phrased it, and that's kind of when it came up for me. You know, the thought came up, or the feeling of how I don't feel seen, and I'm there's things that happen, or I not put down, but telling me what I should do, or what would be better, what I'm not doing right, or whatever. Okay, but it's like, yes, there's certain people we don't feel seen, but those are automatic patterns with us, or not.
Yes, yeah. You don't, I would really recommend looking for yourself. I mean, I'm happy to tell you, but with families, it's a lot of times we have a history, and there's been like this habit to form an impression of someone and never relate to that person again. That happens with our parents, it happens with our kids, it happens with our partners, it happens with our siblings. It's like, so, and the more, in a way, meaningful somehow the automatic pattern has made that person in our cosmology, the stronger those.
I think you froze, Isaac.
Okay, I hear you still.
Now it's back. Now it's back.
Okay.
Yeah, I sense with her, it's in some ways there's a lot of similarities with the two of us, but then there's other things that are my life, how it's been, my spiritual path, or whatever.
I'm going to ask you just one more time. The similarities, are they between you, or are they between the patterns, or I want to be clear on what we're talking about.
Yeah.
Because I see that there's a way of thinking that's playing, that's from where I look seems to be confused.
And I see there's an I here that wants her approval, understanding, and warmth. I feel that. And it's like, I don't know if I noticed that before. So I think that's a good thing that I've noticed, that I'm wanting that from her. And that's not probably ever going to happen, or maybe it will, but just to notice it. And there was more clear seeing about it.
Yeah, and
I
I
was
say like
wanting that from her.
to take it deeper is to see that that's a pattern playing that you're not doing.
Okay. Wow. Oh,
And you know, who knows where that pattern comes from? We don't know.
yeah, yeah.
But the moment it gets referred to as, oh, you know, there's something in me, or there's like I'm doing it, or something like that, then it gets confused. It gets entangled. You know, it comes back to that really very simple inquiry. Who are you? Who is anybody else? Are they the patterns? Are they the patterns that play in them? Are they the personality? Or any of that stuff, you know, it's just like,
Oh yeah, I can feel there's something inside. I want it to be different. You know, I want understanding or whatever, support, or I don't know, something.
okay, so here we go again. I want something to be different rather than there's a pattern that wants something to be different.
Yep, there's a pattern that
Yes.
wants to be different.
Yeah, and just making the distinction. What's the difference between I want something to be different and there's a pattern that wants something to be different?
Yeah, very, very good. Yeah. Yeah. It does soften it a little bit right now. Maybe I just keep being with it.
Cool.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you for that clarification.
Cool.
All right. I could sit
Yeah, I
with
mean,
you for a few minutes or seconds or
Yeah.
something.
you know, and just to get really clear, I want to sit with you. What is sitting with what? Just really.
The words are
There's-
tricky. I do
These
know.
words are tricky, but they reflect a habit of thinking, you could say. They're not right or not wrong. But really, when we're sitting here, what we have is the sensations of this moment, which then we project, oh, that's you, this is me, and all this stuff. Or it projects like through, you know, like through how we've been conditioned and stuff like that. But all there is right now is awareness and sensations playing, and then interpretation of what that means.
I have had the experience with this one I'll call Isaac, that I even remember the one night you had some green shirt on, and it's like, and then when I kind of like I saw myself, and I was Isaac too, and then it was like that was Nehema. It was like there was no. So I totally I get that. You know, it's just language is tricky, but it's there's not that.
It's not like we have to use the right language or anything like that. It's just
Noticing.
starting to see where there's old habits of thinking that show up in the way we use language that produce difficulty.
It just reinforces this this me.
Absolutely.
You said the other night, feed world and Mahima world or whatever. Yeah.
Cool.
Very good.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Yeah. And if you go back to gallery view for a moment, we can just check and see if anybody got any value from that inquiry, just making that distinction. So, yeah, cool.
Beautiful.
Yeah. It functions, as far as I can see, it functions the same in all of us, you know. It's like, so it doesn't matter who the inquiry happens through. We're just looking at how consciousness functions, you know. It's really, as far as I can see, it's not personal. It's just a play. Sandra.
Hey Isaac, hey Sangha.
Hey, Sandra.
Hey. It's so beautiful to have a moment with you all. Something really clicked when before you said there is this being seen, and then we put on an act when it doesn't feel good. And in sitting with it, I could see how very often that happens in the so-called outside world. And it's so it's somehow it's forgotten to just be there fresh in the moment and with a sense of maybe curiosity, you know, where it seems like you know the other or the others. And so just sitting now with you, that's to just let it sink in and just be actually.
You know, that's the thing, is like these habits at play that have helped us to survive are so familiar and happen so quickly. And so it's beautiful as we start to notice, okay, wow. It's how the system learned to survive. And then I guess very gently noticing if it's still necessary or not, you know. And then something can meet itself naked and real. And
and I can see that here with the Sangha, it's beautiful. And I mean, it's such a beautiful how to say it, it's safe here. It's safe. And I can see that in the so-called outside world, I know it's now making objects, but that is how it looks at work also. It's like this feeling of something is expected from you, a certain role, a certain way to act. And I can see it makes it more difficult to, or it looks like it makes it more difficult. Maybe it is not more difficult. Maybe it's something that is afraid to just be truthful, stay truthful, even so there are expectations there.
Yeah. So that's beautiful, just to, you know, that how usual or how, you know, often does it happen that we're in a field where there's expectations? You know, it can happen in friendships, it can happen in family, it can happen in work, and they all have different qualities, but just that when we're in a field where there's an expectation, and hidden in that field of expectation is already disappointment and judgment, hurt and everything, you know. So it's in the sense, it's a loaded field. It's charged,
Yeah.
And then somehow our system has found a way to manage that, you know, like however it's managed it. And it's no right, no wrong, just gentle noticing, okay. And on the other side, we can see where unconsciously an expectation would play in us. And how that feels from the other side when something unconsciously in us moves into looking through that lens.
Yeah, that would feel good.
Yeah, and of course, on that side, there'll also be hurt and disappointment, and maybe a sense of betrayal. Even, I mean, it's such a, in such a familiar, kind of lens to look through,
Mhm.
and it obscures just this natural, unconditional meeting that just is boundless and no expectation, no disappointment, just more, it's just love flowing, I would say it like that. Just
Mhm.
intelligence can just meet itself. Just,
Mhm.
beauty.
Each time it's like coming home again and again, and the heart opening.
Thank you, Sandra.
Gratitude, Isaac.
Mm. Antje.
Isaac, can you speak?
Yes. Did that help?
Yes, yes.
Cool.
Hi.
Excellent, yeah. Hey. British.
Can you speak again, please?
Sure. Did that help?
Yes.
Cool.
It was in a waiting line. It was interrupted when you spoke to somebody before. You just said the more you see somebody through your patterns, the stronger, and then it was interrupted. Do you remember what you wanted to say?
It's like, you know, there's, what is it that sees through those eyes? Difficult to answer that question, huh?
Mm.
Like somehow seeing happens, and that seeing appears in awareness.
Mm.
But if we really ask the question, what is it that sees? Because we in the habit, you could say, of saying, oh, I see. But when we're resting quietly, it's clearly that just seeing happens. If you look for the eye that's seeing, you can't, I don't know, maybe you can find it.
It's clear. No, it's clear. It's
No,
clear.
yeah.
Mm.
So somehow life or this great intelligence sees through these eyes, it smells through this nose. Yeah.
So
Life.
you posted in Facebook some days ago. It was not from you, but another guy. Something like if you really check this, there is nobody and there's nothing to do anymore. It was so just free, just celebration. Huh?
Yeah.
Oh, oh, it was so beautiful. What possible now? Oh. Mm. And I could see so clear some days ago with other people we met. And the one woman, she herded me. So I always had this, oh, don't come too close. So, and yeah, but it really just prevent me from being as unconditional love.
Yeah. I mean, it's just a funny thought. That's all it is. It's like that there's someone that hurt you. All we can say is hurt happened.
Mm.
How it happened, or for hurt to happen. I mean, like if you're resting here and you don't want anything, you don't need anything, you just it would be tricky for her to happen. There must be some,
Yes.
unacknowledged
Beautiful.
wanting or something going on. It's beautiful that it surfaces and gets seen. Okay. expectation, something
But you
happening.
still can feel some kind of sensation. You also spoke of people who were so close to you and then
Yeah,
suddenly.
no, yes, no problem with, no,
Yeah.
I mean, it's really no problem that hurt arises. And, with luck, then it's an opportunity to explore. It's like, okay, so hurt is happening here. So there's, something, some old filter that life is seeing through it that wasn't even recognized. It just was so automatic. It just had some idea of friendship, of loyalty, of who knows what, some expectation
Yeah,
in
yeah,
disguise. And then hurt
yeah,
happens and you
yeah.
go, oh, I don't like
Okay,
them anymore.
okay. Yeah. Well, hmm. Hmm.
Sure.
Hmm. So much.
Thank-
Hmm.
Yeah, thanks, Ulrike.
Hmm.
Judith.
Hi, Isaac.
Hey, Judith.
I would love to resource a bit with you.
Yeah, with
There
pleasure.
is a little bit dis-ease.
Mm. Anything that wants to be spoken, you're welcome.
No, it's very nice
Good.
to hang out like this. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Julia. Hey,
Hi,
Julia.
hi, sorry. I'm a little, I think a little confusion is here, but when you spoke about this sensibility, something was like resonating like strongly in me, and then after came up if it's also something about, I don't know if it's like there's like pattern of validation, wanting to be validated, or like specialness is coming up also. So, but at the same time, it resonates very much in me. So I just wanted to speak it, and maybe
Yeah,
you can
beautiful. Yeah,
speak into it.
yeah. You know, it's. I mean, if we look at somehow birth happened and we found ourselves in a family system, usually seen as an object with a number of spoken and unspoken expectations and rewards and punishments, and so of course our system, grew up in that kind of field, and yeah, and then it's like, okay, wow, here I am, and whatever residue there is from that, I'm here. I'm not going anywhere. So and those little residues will reveal themselves without effort, without doing, without, I mean, this fire of just resting is a hot fire. It burns everything.
Yes. So also not needing to maybe
No,
have
don't
so
make
many
any,
answers into specific,
no.
if I'm this
There's,
way or that way, or
no, exactly. There's a little bit of a danger when I speak like I've been speaking tonight, because it sounds like there's something to get or something to remember or something to see. I'm sorry. Sometimes it comes out clumsily.
no,
It's just like it.
no, it's all good. It's all good.
Yeah.
I love all of it, but it's just,
Yeah.
it stayed with me. So it was like,
Yeah.
yeah. All is well then.
All is well.
Thank you,
Yeah.
Asa.
Yeah. Thank you. Katerina, I saw you waving your hand. Are you still? Yeah.
Yes, I was.
Okay.
Ooh, I'm just right now so touched from the beauty.
What a beautiful thing to be touched by, beauty.
And realizing this, this relief, because there's a lot of tension in my system, a lot of, I don't know, fear, and always when I'm alone, I'm getting in this, how you described it, like we pop in here and now we are here, and there's so much effort in me to get it done in a beautiful way. And
just gently notice that it's trying to help. It's trying to help. It's not wrong. It's not bad. That you can see in this moment that effort is counterproductive. It doesn't bring enjoying, relaxing, or being. It's not necessary or useful. It's not wrong. It's just an old program. It's okay. It's beautiful that it's revealing itself.
Yeah, but there's such a fear that if I don't do anything, I will just die away, like alone and not. I know there's so many beautiful things we can do, and even these meetings, but this part always wants to take care that I don't get lost or something.
Yeah.
Or make it happen.
One way to speak is like a pocket of information in the nervous system that feels like it has to do something.
Yeah, it's a huge pocket.
Yes. When you look at it right now, yes, what do you need to do to be? And from here, that question doesn't even make sense, huh?
Yeah, but it seems like there's an energy which also is a vitality, that is standing here and going like, okay, how we do this now? How?
So that vitality, that life energy, whatever you want to call it, where does it begin? Where does it end? Where does it come from? Where does it go? So we're just inquiring. There's no right answer to that question. We're just looking. Yeah.
If I tune in, it's getting wider.
Exactly. It's everywhere.
I listened to an audio yesterday in which it was said that I loved it very much, that life is a continuum. And when we grew up, we learned from the beginning that we always have to reach the next level. And, like next, always needing to reach for something.
Yeah, that conditioning that we have to effort.
Mhm.
Such a funny, when you look, here we are, no effort needed, no effort required at all. Just, yeah.
Yeah, to me it seems that if I don't do anything, maybe I'm scared.
You're talking about in the past or this moment?
Yes. Maybe it's a habit that this life energy turns into fear, or if I not being used to let it just flow.
Just for fun, try and stop this life energy. Try and stop it flowing. See if it's possible.
I can do it.
Did you manage?
No, it's very interesting. I really feel this. It's like as if it's just, it's just like this endless flow.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I wonder what is this in my head, this image I have, like
The thought.
taking it and wanting to do something with it, and
Yeah.
or turning it into something.
Yeah.
Mm. I think something in me cannot believe that what this, what you say, this is it happens by itself, and that it comes out just naturally.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't think you have to believe that. Just look. Just see if there's just see if there's somebody here that could do anything about anything. I mean, really, there's just flow, it's just information everywhere, nowhere. And then, like a pattern plays, and it seems like there's a me that's separate from that flow, or somehow cut off from it, or something. But it's a fata morgana. It doesn't actually. It's not real, yeah.
Yeah.
And if that's seen, then it's just like, oh, okay, so something plays and makes it seem that way, but I'm here. That that which is aware is here, always been, can't go anywhere. It's not in time. Before time, time appears in that. Everything appears in that. Time, space, matter, energy. And I'm that. thoughts appear in that. No problem. Yeah. Thanks, Katharina. Yes. Ah, Daphne. Daphne.
And you know, it's so not important how you pronounce my name. It's always
I know.
music to my ears.
Okay.
And you say it.
Yeah, thank you.
Now I see a picture. I don't know who it is.
Doesn't matter.
No.
If I speak, it'll come back. Yeah.
Yeah. What to say?
Thank you.
Yeah. It's ecstatic. To me, it's really ecstatic. Yeah. And maybe I can share this. Yesterday, I noticed that everything I can notice is already past. So how can I take anything personal if you know if it's it's good to see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you. So,
Hey,
hey.
we have in German a saying, silver is talking and silence is gold. I go for the gold, please, a moment. Thank you.
Thank you. Oh, Bettina. Hi.
Now.
Now.
Hi, beloveds.
Hey.
Hey.
Yeah. Just let the eyes water. So beautiful. Let them.
Oh.
Mhm.
Ah. Thank you. Thank you.
Mhm.
Thank you all.
The trend.
It's funny, it just came to my mind that this to say thank you, like to see the perfection in the moment. Like, and it's really funny. I mean, here's this mind. It's just a machine which is like all the time. When it's active, it's all the time. Also in
Making
my
comments.
dreams, it's so funny. I mean, it's all the time. There are problems, and it works to find solutions. Yeah, and to be just here and just to switch the view, and to just see that it's all, yeah.
I saw such a beautiful statement by this Tibetan Dzogchen master, Dilgo Khyentse. Let me see if I'll get it quickly. He really says it so beautifully. How do I get there? Yeah. He says, when death finally comes, you will welcome them like an old friend, being aware of how dreamlike and impermanent the phenomenon world really is. You should leave this life like an eagle soaring up into the blue sky. I don't know. I love that.
Yeah, so funny. Yeah. Thanks.
On a practical note, we'll do a mail out soon, as soon as Almas can, with the bus can, without any stress. He's traveling, so. But I've been playing with dates for the next celebration, and there's a time change in Europe on the 30th, so it makes sense to start on the 31st of October, not to get too much confusion. And it'll be there'll be one session in the morning and one session in the evening for you guys, but it'll all be in that email. You'll see it. So, yeah. Ellen. Hey, Ellen.
Yep. Hello.
Hi.
Hello. Wait, you have to do it. Yeah. You know, I just see that something was coming up during this meeting. It's like how to wow. So wow. Just trying to find words for it.
No worries. Take your time.
It's a kind of resistance, what I feel, and this has to do like, wow. Like, okay, so like something heavy happens, like you're losing a child, and then everything is okay. I don't know, it's a kind of cynical thought forms I
Yeah,
see
I understand.
during this meeting are coming up. It's this, yeah, kind of cynical thoughts coming up.
Yeah.
And
You know, there's a story from Ramana that I love. There was a woman who lost her entire family, her husband and her kids, in an accident. And she was grief-stricken, absolutely could not function, just so much grieving. And she went to the Swamis in Tiruvannamalai, and they were all, you know, like, oh, it's karma, and say your mantra and all this stuff. And she couldn't find rest, couldn't find peace. And finally, she came to Ramana, and she sat in front of Ramana, and Ramana just wept with her for maybe a half an hour and didn't speak, only just wept. And when that half an hour was done, the grieving was gone. So simple, so beautiful. It was, you know, like he didn't, I doubt he had a single thought about helping her or trying to stop the grieving or anything. He just met that right where it was. Yeah. And that's, you know, I mean, in a way, it's like grieving happens. I mean, there's no, you know, for some people it happens one way, for others it happens another way. There's no right way, there's no wrong way, there's no length how long it should last, or there's no rules. Yeah. Yeah. And so, okay. And it's not something we can decide it's over or anything like that. We can notice in our own experience that grieving comes and that our heart is breaking open in an amazing way. And then the next moment we're laughing and enjoying the sunshine or whatever. You know, it's just like its own process. And
it's good to hear this because, you know, I can see that the mind does something with like, then like if grief is not allowed or something like that, you know, because then all what you are saying, it's taken in a kind of concepts
Yeah. No, I mean, grief is just in my view, and it's an expression of deep love, and if it's recognized for that, okay, let love show itself in that way.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Yeah. Yeah. Because when sometimes this feeling is there, like missing him or something, or memories come up, and
Yeah.
all the stuff you have to deal with, what comes up, then wow, I just can see how the mind is taking it in a concept like, okay, that's the past, and it's so painful to
the memories are the past.
Yeah.
The grieving, you could say, is a present moment response to the pictures, but it's happening in the moment.
Yeah.
And it's, and to me, it feels like there's a beauty to it. It's honest, it's raw, it's vulnerable, it's naked, it breaks the heart open. Except that, it's very often there's resistance to it. We don't want to feel it. And so, yeah. Or something doesn't want to feel it. Something wants enough of this already. It's like, okay. But
oh, it's really nice to hear. It's like a kind of recognition, and then I can see the cynicism or the cynical thoughts are just dropping away.
Yeah, really.
And it's just what you say, sometimes the grief is coming, and that's it. The missing and the same, like, just to deal with it, or to see what it all brings and what is happening in it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm. Mm.
And when we rest together like this in the heart of grieving, it's beautiful. I find, to me, it's,
Yeah.
Sweetheart.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah. Bas, thank you for hosting again. Thank you, beloveds, for showing up, exploring, resting. Love, peace, beauty. Yeah.